Hi, this is Craig Farnham from Osaka Metropolitan University. Today I want to show you how to search Japan weather records on the Japan Meteorological Agency database site. So why search the JMA database? This is opposed to downloading datasets. Mainly, you want to quickly check the weather conditions at a certain place and time instead of a whole dataset. Might be historic interest or context for a news story. For example, maybe you want to know, was it raining during the 1964 Tokyo Olympics marathon? Myself, I used it as a supplement backup weather data for an experiment I've done here in Japan. For example, what was the atmospheric pressure during my experiment on August 7th, 2023? Because I didn't have the measurement device. You might want to check for record-setting weather. The database is pretty old, some places back to 1872, so mostly you have over 100 years of data available. So, for example, you want to know where and when were the 10 hottest days in Japan on the record, and maybe are they all in the same place or region, or the heaviest snowfall in one day. You might also want to do a quick check of Japan climate trends. Maybe is the temperature increasing compared to 100 years ago? Or is rainfall increasing compared to 100 years ago? And then if you think so, you might want to proceed to downloading some data sets. I also use this for initial search for representative locations, and then I use the JMA download function, that interface later, to get the full data set. So for example, I do some research with urban heat islands, and we're going to check how much warmer is the downtown in a large city versus the nearby suburbs or small towns. Then which suburbs or small towns show this best would be a good representative example. But that's, of course, only choosing from among the available weather stations. So a quick review, the JMA database is based on the network of about 1,300 weather stations. Most of them are called the AMEDAS, the Automated Meteorological Data Acquisition System. And they're all over the country. There are some major stations with all types of data at over 150 sites, mostly in big cities or points of interests, and we're scattered to make a pretty uniform network. And then there are smaller but full weather stations that measure rainfall, temperature, wind, and humidity. There are some smaller, more limited stations that just do rainfall, temperature, and wind. I think some of those are often at airports. And then just rainfall, rain gauges, or snowfall gauges. And many of the sites have over 100 years of weather. Some of the relatively newer records start around the 1970s, 60s, 70s, or 80s. But most stations will probably have at least 50 years of data. And over here, this is Okinawa offset. Actually, Okinawa is down to the left. Okay. So when you go to the database, you'll go to navigate to the weather search interface. So let's go to the site. If you look up JMA or Japan Meteorological Agency, you will probably get to the English site, but the database is not on the English site, it's on the Japanese site. So we click through there. And we go to Kakushu Data Studio. That's types of data, links, and then the Suchi data page links, the links for data pages. And then scroll down a bit to Kisho. So weather, Kako no Kisho data, Kensaku, the search of past weather data. And here's the interface page. So let's explain that. To search some data point, there's 3 steps. You choose a location, then you choose a date, and then you choose the data type. So let's go through that step by step, starting with location. If you click through, you'll get this map of Japan. Unfortunately, it's all in Japanese. Osaka is here. Let's see, Tokyo is here. Sapporo is labeled by the region name, Ishikari. There's even data from the Showa station in Antarctica, and Okinawa is offset on the top here. Actually, it's in the southwest down here. So let's go to that. Click here. And maybe I want to go to Osaka, and then I'll get the Osaka regional map. And I go back here. Okay, we're back again. When you're finished selecting or you want to change selections or clear them out, the clear button is right here. Just cleared that. Okay. So clicking through to the regional page, you'll get a diagram of the region with the available weather stations. When you hover the mouse over one of the stations, for example, Osaka, you get a description and some details that include the region name of the map. So this is Osaka-fu. The station name that you're going to choose is Osaka with how to pronounce it below. Then the latitude and longitude and the elevation. The type of the station. So in this case, it's more of a full manual and observed, and people are there manned by the weather station. And then the types of data available. So rainfall, temperature, humidity, wind, sunlight. I think that means snowfall, but actually there are many more here. So let's go back to the website. Clicking here to Osaka. And I'll start with Osaka. Click there. Okay, it's selected. So next is choosing the date. So the year, and the month, and the day. These kanji symbols are year and month and day. The symbol for day also is a symbol for sun, so sometimes it might be a little confusing as it's in the labels on the data about sunlight. But, well, let's try 2023, January 1st. Let's go through 2023, January 1st. And maybe you're noticing that the right side is changing while I'm selecting these. When you select, you can clear out the date of this button here. Just 2023, then January, and then specifically January 1st. And then the types of data. So there's many divisions of how the data is presented in different time segments. So I'll read through the meanings of each of these. On the left side, you have all years on record. So let's look at that. So I picked 2023, January 1st, but it's not affecting this. This is just the yearly averages and max mins for the chosen location, Osaka. And it started 1883. There are many, many sets of data, but generally you probably only want to look at the main homonomos, so the main elements, which from the left are atmospheric pressure, the sea level atmospheric pressure, and then the atmospheric pressure at the site, precipitation total for the year, and then maximum values, maximum daily, maximum hourly, and maximum over 10 minutes. And then the air temperature, average, and the average daily temperature of the year, the average high temperature of the year, the average low temperature of the year, the highest temperature of the year, and the lowest temperature of the year. So yeah, if you can't read these, you can still make a good guess just by looking at the units and then looking at the numbers to make a guess. So you see hectopascals, yeah, that means pressure. You see millimeters, and then you see values like 1,000 for a year. That's probably rain, right? You see degrees C, yeah, that's temperature. And then looking through, well, yeah, this must be the highest. This is the lowest of the year, probably. And these are daily, average, daily, average high, daily, average low for the whole year. The next is percent. So yeah, that's relative humidity with the average, and then minimum. And you'll notice in the older records, some values are not available because they were not recorded. Of course, there's no automation. Well, it might have been paper-based automation back then. Let's see. The next is wind direction and wind speed. So the average wind speed, then the average, sorry, not the average, the highest wind speed and the direction, and then the highest wind gust speed and direction. Meters per second. Can't help you much with the labels of wind direction, but you can learn 4 basic kanji and you'll figure them out. If you have an app to help with reading kanji, you can see this is west. Next is southwest. Yep, southwest. West, northwest. Where's east? Somewhere east. This is east. And yeah, so we did it. West, south, north, and east. You can learn them pretty quickly. Next is Nisho Jikan, the hours of sunlight. And then the all sky global insolation meters, megajoules per meter squared average was not recorded long ago. We have to get up to the 1960s before those records appeared. Keep going to the right. Snowfall, Osaka, basically, there's almost never any snow. Yeah, mostly zeros. The cloudiness level average, we're at 10 is cloudy, I think, and 0 is clear, and 1 is like minimal clouds. And then meteorological phenomenon, the days of snowfall, days of frost, and lightning, days with lightning. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, days with snowfall. Okay, and many of these were not recorded. Okay. And in all these records, occasionally you see a bracket. That means there's an incomplete data record for the period chosen. Okay. So you can choose other things. Don't have time to go through all of them, but you might. These are about rainfall mostly and air pressure, and then the various temperatures. For example, an interesting one is the number of days where the high temperature was over 25 degrees, or the number of days where the high temperature, oh, sorry, that's the average temperature. The number of days where the daily high temperature was over 30 degrees or 35 degrees. So these are like global warming type things. Okay, so actually, let's go down. Yeah, this year we had 41. The data is incomplete. It's only November, but I don't think there'll be any more. But yeah, that's a new record for the number of days with a high temperature over 35 degrees in Osaka. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so that's the all years on record. The next line is the year chosen in 3-month periods with 12 periods. So let's go through to that. So months are the numbers, so January through December, and then the 3 months until that point. So you have November until the January of 2023, December till December 2022 until February 2023, and then the rest is normal. And the order is pretty much the same as before. You have pressures, rainfall, temperatures, humidity, wind, direction and speed, sunlight, insolation, and then snow. And you can pretty much figure that out. Okay, go back. Next is monthly values for all years on record. So click through to that. So it's a bit similar, but information, but the grid is different. You have years and months, and then you have to choose which value you want. So this is the average temperature of each month. I think it's the average high temperature of each month, the average low temperature of each month. Yeah, average low temperature of each month. The average wind speed, the average air pressure at sea level, the average air pressure at site level, the average relative humidity, the average vapor pressure, the average cloudiness level, the average sunlight ratio. So I think that's hours of sunlight compared to the maximum possible hours of sunlight from sunrise to sunset. All sky irradiation, sorry. Hours of sunlight total in each month. The total precipitation, rainfall in each month, and the total snowfall in each month. So again, Osaka, usually 0. Okay. Okay, let's go back. Next line is monthly values for 2023 only. So going back. Oops. So I've selected January 1st, but monthly values for 2023. It doesn't matter my date selection. There's the months, and again, the same data as before, same order, and then you can choose sub-menus for more detailed information. Sometimes you'll see these buttons here. This is the following year button. So I click it, you get 2024. We're in November. December hasn't been done yet. November is not finished yet. Or we can go back to 2022 and keep going back 2020, 2019, etc. Okay. Clicking back. Okay, what's next? Number 5. Oh, right. This is 10-day periods. Japanese called June. So it's kind of like a week used for basically the beginning of a month, the middle of a month, and the end of a month. And it has a strict definition. So let's go through. Okay. So January, the beginning, the middle, and the end of January, etc. for each month. All the same data again, same menus again, same year skip function again. Okay, let's go back. Next is 5-day period, so half Junes, Hanjuns. And then the definition comes in. It's the 1st to the 5th, the first half of the 1st of June, and then the 6th to the 10th is the second half of the top of the month, June. There. The last period starts at the 26th and goes to the end of the month, depending on the day. So 31st for January, for February up to the 28th, but always starting at the 26th. So, yeah, this gives up a slightly more detailed, narrow scope for averages for certain periods, especially holiday periods. If you want to find a rough idea of what the weather is usually like or was like during a certain holiday weekend, this is a quick way to narrow that down. Okay. 7, daily values for the chosen year and month. Okay. Okay, so we chose January, so we have 1st to the 31st. And again, the data is the same order, same sub-menus. The time shift clicks have a new one by month. You can go next to the next month, so to February, to March, April, etc. Going back. Okay. Okay. And then the hourly values for the chosen date. So let's go to the hourly values here. So 1 through 24, so 1 a.m., 12 noon, and then 24 is midnight or 0 o'clock, some people might say. The data arrangement is a little bit more narrow because there aren't averages. So you have atmospheric pressure again at the site and at sea level, precipitation, temperature for that hour, and all the hour values are up to that hour. I think it's the average. Here we have the dew point temperature, then the vapor pressure, the relative humidity, the wind speed and direction, hours of daylight, insolation, snowfall, the weather condition, sky condition, the cloudiness, and then the visibility, such as at an airport. So looking through here, we can guess, well, what was it like on January 1st, 2023? Hours of sunlight is 1, so it was sunny, at least at noon, and the symbol means sunny. The cloudiness level was 1, not 0, but 1, so there's a little bit of scattered clouds. And partly cloudy for most of the rest of the day. Cloudiness level all the way up to 8. Okay, and over 10 degrees around noon. The rainfall has dashes. Rainfall dashes means no rain. Okay, and the time jumps. We can go to the next day. The next day, the rainfall has some zeros in it. So in the rainfall data, dash means no rainfall. 0 means there was a trace amount of rainfall, but not enough to measure, at least not significantly. So it would be less than 0.1 millimeters. Okay. Yeah, no snowfall. I keep going. Not much rain. Yeah, so pretty nice, cold, but nice span of days at New Year's. Okay. Let's go back. Then, going closer to the bottom, we have 10-minute values for a chosen date. This is not available at all weather stations, I think. But yeah, so this is 12:10 a.m., 12:20 a.m., 4:20 a.m., etc. Pretty much the same data, a little more refined. Yeah, but you can figure it out. Okay. Then we have some historic values. So top 10 from the full historic record for the chosen location. So here we have for Osaka, the main big weather facts. Let's go to click here, meaning the whole year or just for a chosen month, January. And has the ranking 1st through 10th, and then shows an indication of the span from which the records were taken. So from January 1883 to January of 2024. This is the ranking. So going through every single thing, don't have time, but I'll go through the main ones. So this is the maximum rainfall in one day in Osaka was 58.4 millimeters in 1959. The maximum rainfall in 10 minutes time span was 8. The maximum rainfall in a 1 hour time span. Okay. Tsuki side, I need you, Yojikan. The maximum rainfall in a 24-hour period in that month. So not by the calendar date, but a 24-hour time span, etc. Let's go more interesting. Okay, the temperatures. So the maximum temperature in January was 19 degrees. The lowest high temperature. Yeah, so the lowest high temperature ever. So a really cold day. Then the maximum low temperature. So at night, the lowest temperature, I guess it was a cloudy night. And then the lowest low temperature. So this is actually the lowest temperature on record, -7 degrees. Then, let's see. So, okay, then getting into monthly averages, etc. Then wind speeds, etc. And snowfalls. Yeah, okay. But also the whole year, if you want the whole year, click here. And then, let's see. So the maximum rainfall in a day was 250 millimeters in 1957. The maximum rainfall in 10 minutes was 27. The maximum rainfall in 1 hour, 77.5. The maximum rainfall within a 24-hour span was 283 millimeters. Assume it was a typhoon. Let's see, going to temperatures. The maximum temperature ever in Osaka was 39.1 degrees in 1994. Let's see, the lowest temperature ever was -7.5 degrees in 1945. And, how about wind speed? Oops. Okay, the maximum wind speed, gust wind speed was 60 meters per second. The maximum sustained wind speed was 33 meters per second. Okay. So that's how you can look up some weather records. Next is the national rankings, so regardless of locations. So we'll go back. Oops. Okay. So these are the location and date for the records within all of Japan, choosing just for the whole year or choosing by month if you want to. Okay. It's just listed up in a bunch of different menus, tables. So this is the highest temperature on record in Japan. It was in Shizuoka at Hamamatsu was 41.1 degrees in 2020. We had tie with Saitama at Kumatani for 41.4 in 2018. So yeah, a lot of 2000s records here. And it's about the top 20 available. Next is the cite. Okay, the record low temperatures in all Japan. Most of these are in, Hokkaido up north. Sahikawa, -41 in 1902. Not many 2000s in here. One. Okay. Okay, this is the lowest high temperature. So during the daytime, usually the lowest high temperature was -32 degrees in Shizuoka Ken at Mount Fuji Observation Station. 1936. Okay. So the highest low temperature, so this would usually be at night, 31.4. So that was a hot night. And all of these are very recent. The highest rainfall in 10 minutes, 55 millimeters in Hokkaido. Okay. Highest rainfall in 1 hour, 153 millimeters in Chiba, 1999. The highest daily rainfall, 922 millimeters in Kanagawa, in Hakone, a few years ago. Okay. The highest wind speed, 72.5. Again, that's on top of Mount Fuji again. Okay. The highest gust wind speed, again, Mount Fuji. Okay. And the highest snowfall amount. Wow, 1,182 in 1927. Shigaken Ibukiyama, on top of a mountain. Yeah, okay. Here, you'll notice a blank space. This is whether the weather station is still operational today. So that weather station, they're not running it anymore. Mostly it's circles, but oh, they're not doing the Mount Fuji data anymore. Okay. Okay, so that's Japan weather records. You can switch to a month, like if you wanted to concentrate on hottest, and maybe August is often the hottest month. But maybe during certain vacation periods, maybe the Golden Week usually is in April and May, so you might want to check when the hottest times are there. Okay, let's go back. So that's the left side of the menu. The right side of the menu is actually very similar, but these are typical year values. So typical year values are based on from 1991 to 2020, the 30-year average and median values. Exactly how it's selected, that's another story. But actually, it's almost all the same as before. It kind of matches the symbols, right? 3 hours. Okay. So the yearly, the monthly, the 3-month periods, the 10-day periods, the half 10-day periods, 5-day periods, then the daily, and then special facts about when the days of frost, snow, and yeah, ice, etc. So the winter length, basically. Then at the bottom, there's some menus about which data are available for the site each year. Until 1990, after 1990, most data is available without problems, except sometimes typhoons or earthquakes have knocked out a station for a while. And then national maps, which are useful. Okay, so actually, let's go. Let's just check one of these cases. Yeah, the yearly typical mean year, typical year values. Okay, so many are same as before. So if you want to just do the average values for the past 30 years, this is what you would use. And then if you want to do the 3-month periods or the even hourly. So this is the typical, yeah, typical August, typical January day, etc. I don't think they do hourly here. Yeah, there's no typical hourly site. Okay, the maps are also interesting. Let's go here. There's a few maps. There's the full year average maps, then the each month's average maps. For example, temperature, small and large maps. Let's do the small map. Okay, it's the same map. It's a larger file, so it might take a little bit time to down. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, just a big file. Yeah, but better zoom, I think. Yeah, pretty detailed. So it looks like, yeah, each of these blocks is, I think, maybe 1 kilometer, even less than 1 kilometer. Pixels. Okay, this is Osaka, and yeah, Osaka city has a higher temperature than the surroundings. Yeah, Nagoya is over here, similar. Okay. So you have average temperature, then the daily highs, daily lows, rainfall, snowfall, sunlight hours, and total insolation. Actually, that's interesting. Yearly, where's the sunniest place if you want to do solar power? Right around here, a bit to the west of Tokyo in the mountains. It's the best sunlight, actually. Not south, probably because of typhoon season. And lots of typhoons in, and lots of rainfall in June, which would normally be the sunniest, right? So, okay. Okay, so that's it. Let's do some example searches of specific questions. So first, was it raining during the 1964 Tokyo Olympics marathon? Which checked was on October 21st, 1964. It started at 1 p.m. October to avoid the summer heat. No comment for recent Olympics. Okay, so let's clear everything, clearing the dates and clearing the location. Let's go to the map. Tokyo is here. Here's the map of Tokyo. Tokyo map also includes some of the Pacific Islands to the southeast of Japan, which are technically part of Tokyo, or at least administration of Tokyo. Tokyo, usually the double red circle will be the main station. Yeah, there it is. Okay, click on that. Okay, that's selected. So the 1964, October 21st. Okay, October 21st. And the finest data we have is hourly, no 10-minute data during that time. 2024, yeah, more recently there was. But 1964, they didn't have 10-minute data. So hourly data. We choose this, and you'll notice it's not hourly data, it's every 3 hours. Probably, I assume this is because it was actually a manned manual station. Meteorologist writing down values, of looking at the instruments and writing it down every 3 hours, into the night even. Let's see, but we are interested in rainfall. Dashes mean known rainfall, and zeros mean there was a trace rainfall, but not significant. So less than 0.1 or 0.05 millimeters. Marathon started at 1 p.m., 13. There was some trace rainfall then, but then there was zero. So it might be a slight amount of trace rainfall in the beginning of the marathon and then ending in the middle of the marathon. Okay. So was it raining during the 1964 Tokyo Olympics marathon? A little bit at the beginning, but not measurable. Okay. What was the atmospheric pressure during my experiment on August 7th, 2023? Okay, let's go back. Clear everything, clear the date, clear the location, and we'll select the location. I'm in Osaka. The university's closest weather station is at Sakai. So I'll try that. So it's August 7th, 2023. Okay, 2023, August 7th. Let's do hourly data. And there's vapor pressure, but no atmospheric pressure. Yeah, so the closest automated weather station doesn't have an atmospheric pressure. Too bad. So we'll choose another location. Guess we'll have to go with the main station in Osaka and try again. Yeah, there it is. Atmospheric pressure at sea level and at the site. So say I did my experiment at from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Almost no change at about 1,000, maybe a little less. Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, I've used that a few times. All right, let's go to the next. Check record-setting weather. Where and when was the hottest day in Japan? Okay, we did that earlier, but let's do it again. Clear the dates, clear the locations. All country ranking data is here. Here, and the first menu is the hottest days, which was 41.1 degrees. Shizuoka-ken in Hamamatsu City on August 17th, 2020. And the record was 41.1, but there was a tie at Saitama in Kumatani. It was also 41.1 a couple of years earlier on July 23rd. Okay. Heaviest snowfall in one day. I think this is also somewhere here. Near the bottom, these are temperature, millimeters of rain, wind speed. Here's the snowfall. Yeah, so mentioned that earlier. 1,182 centimeters in Shigaken at Ibukiyama. So on top of a mountain. So kind of expected. Yeah. Okay, but more normal places, looks like 300 centimeters or 400 centimeters, not on top of mountains. All of these are up north in Niigata. Okay, but not in Hokkaido so much. Um, Hokkaido's down here. Okay, next example. Is rainfall increasing compared to 100 years ago? So how do we do this? Let's clear everything. So the ranking data won't work. So to get yearly data for all of Japan is, I guess we could try, can't we try that? No, okay. So let's choose one place. Let's choose Osaka. Well, let's choose Tokyo. Everybody will choose Tokyo, right? So let's do Tokyo. And then for that location, we'll look at the yearly amounts. Just a quick check of rainfall. So records go back to 1876. Rainfall amounts were in the thousands, high thousands, 1700, 1300, 1700 per year. Over 2000 anywhere. Okay. Over 2000, 1920. There's one case over 2000, 1938. So usually high thousands every, sometimes over 2000. Getting closer to recent times, it seems I can sort of feel like it's getting a little bit higher in the higher thousands, but passing 2000 actually not so much. Just once in 2021 and then 1991. So first glance, it seems maybe it's getting a little higher, but not drastically. I'd have to download some data and check that on Excel. Okay. So this would be a case with maybe, or I could choose a different site. Maybe Hokkaido would be more interesting. Maybe Hokkaido has been switching from snow to rainfall instead. Anyway, okay. And as an initial search for representative locations, comparing urban heat island is downtown in a large city versus nearby suburbs or small towns, which ones have a larger temperature difference? So I'll go back to the menu, clear everything. And I'm familiar with Osaka, so let's look at Osaka. Oh yeah, we'll just look at the yearly values for now. Osaka, high temperatures. Let's look at high temperatures or average temperatures or average high temperatures. Probably average high temperature is a good measure. Let's go down to the end of the year. The average high temperature was 22.6. I'll write that down. And the highest temperature was 38.6. Okay. So let's go back to choose something further outside. So we're going to go to, Sakai, which is near the university. It's still a fairly urbanized area, train tracks and some factories and buildings, but more greenery. Let's look at the average high and the highest temperature. This is last year 22.3 and 38.6, so actually not much different. Yeah, I didn't expect much different. It's still pretty urban. So let's go further. Let's go out into Kumatori. So that's really suburbs bordering on countryside. The elevation is a little bit higher, 68 meters, so I have to be careful. We could go north, but the elevation there is 235 meters, so it's in the low mountains, so it's not fair to compare temperatures with that there. So we'll do Kumatori. Look at the high average temperatures in about 21.6 or 20.8. So actually lower, a degree or two lower, and the highest temperatures in the 36 range, so also about 2 degrees lower. So as a quick guess, if I want to do some heat island comparisons, I'd also get some satellite imagery to see where the gray of the city and the more green of the surroundings happens. But this probably is my best candidate to talk about Osaka with numerical weather records instead of satellite data. Okay. So we've used JMA database weather search interface to look for interesting facts. Each case, you choose a location, then you choose the date by month, day, and year, and then you choose the data type to get the facts you want. And then you can pretty much figure things out with some educated guessing, and it helps if you have a Japanese app to read Japanese in a browser, such as Rikai-chan or Tenten. Okay, they're available for Chrome and I think Firefox. I'm not sure about Edge. Okay, that's it. So, thanks for listening.